Hey, what is up, everybody? Let's recap real quick. Both April 25th and April 26th. Back on April 25th, we ended our losing streak. Our lock of the day, Reggie Bullock, over 17.5 PRA from the 25th. Hits, he ends up getting 18, hits a late 3, and then he gets ejected. So that was kind of clutch, and he ended up hitting that. Tobias Harris sold the bag big time on the 25th. He had 23.5 points and rebounds with about a little bit left in that game. Then they got blown by the 76ers, and he gets pulled. So he's 1 rebound, 1 point away from us getting a sweep on the 25th. And then Luka Doncic, I thought he was going to miss it. He was at like 30 points with a whole quarter to go, but they were up big on the Jazz. So I didn't think he was going to hit it. Ends up hitting a 3, getting 3 points going over. So that made us 2-1 on the 25th. And then yesterday, the 26th, our lock of the day, Desmond Bane was our only hit, over 20.5 points. He ends up going for 25, somewhere in that range. And then Ja Morant, man, where do we even start with that kid? 6 points at the half, 14 points at the end of the third quarter, and has a monster 16-point fourth quarter. He scored the Memphis Grizzlies' last 16 points. I was like, I never ever get the other end of that. I was like, I never get the other end of a player not coming close to their line and then absolutely going ballistic in the fourth. And last night, I was just, when Ja only had 6 at the half, I was like, okay, he doesn't score 27 in the second half, right? And then he had 14 in the fourth quarter. I was like, okay, there's no way he scores 16 in the fourth. And he did. And he absolutely did. And then DeAndre Ayton comes ever so close once again. The game was actually close this time around, and he still didn't manage to get there. He had 28 PRA, so he comes up just 3 short. Just barely missing on Ayton, man. I just really thought he was going to get there. Mikal Bridges ended up having the big night anyways for the Suns. But with that being said, let's get right into it today. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, make sure that you there's a link down in the description I have that automatically takes you to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy. Also throws in my TAKEMYSHOT code when you guys sign up for that. So when you make your first deposit, it helps me out big time, as well as it gives you a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you throw in $20, for example, you'll get actually $40, and they'll give you another $23 just to bet on for funsies, a little risk-free bets for fun. And so that is always nice as well to get those risk-free bets. Also helps me out, like I said, big time if you guys use my code TAKEMYSHOT. Because all my picks every single day are always going to be Underdog Fantasy picks. I think it's the best player prop betting app out there. With that being said, now let's get to today's picks. All right, baby, coming up with the lock of the day. Let's get it. Last 2 days, our lock of the days have slapped Reggie Bullock and Desmond Bane. Today's lock of the day is going to be coming from the Chase Center tonight. The Warriors have a chance to close out the Denver Nuggets. And guess who's back into the starting lineup? Their man, their legend. Give me Stephen Curry today, over 27.5 points today versus the Denver Nuggets. I took Jordan Poole last time. He was the only guy in the starting lineup that didn't hit his over. This time, Stephen Curry is being implemented back into the starting lineup. No minutes restriction. He played 36 minutes in their last one. They always say that the hardest game to win is the closeout game. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter who it's against. The closeout game is always the hardest one because the team that's down has nothing to lose, and the team that's up has everything to lose. So I like Stephen Curry's chances tonight to hit this 27.5. He's absolutely been getting buckets, obviously, off the bench at 33, 27, 34, the last 3 games for him. Been absolutely crushing his line. No reason to think against this horrible perimeter defense of the Denver Nuggets that he can't do this. Once again, I'm liking Steph Curry, who's getting implemented back into the starting lineup today, over 27.5 versus the Denver Nuggets. Lock it in as the lock of the day. Let's get it. Next up, we're going to go under. We're going to go under on DeMar DeRozan's 29.5 points. Zach LaVine is out, I know. That's why his points have been bumped all the way up to 30. The Milwaukee Bucks have put together a fantastic game plan for him. Ever since that 41-point explosion he had, he's been held to just 11 and 23. They've been absolutely blitzing, hedging, double-teaming. They've been letting DeMar DeRozan get absolutely nothing ever since that huge game he had in game 2. So I'm anticipating more of that for the Bucks tonight. Now that he's the lone primary scorer for this Chicago Bulls team, they're going to be absolutely all over him, allowing other people. They won't allow DeMar DeRozan to be the reason why they lose this game tonight. If Nikola Vucevic has a big game, it is what it is. If Patrick Williams has a big game, it is what it is. But they're going to do everything to make sure that it's not DeMar DeRozan. So I like DeMar DeRozan under 29.5 points tonight versus the Milwaukee Bucks with their great interior defense and their great wing defense. So give me DeMar DeRozan under 29.5 tonight. And our last play of the day is going to be coming from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I bounced back and forth. His 33.5 points is really, I'm kind of liking that a lot to go under on. Hasn't hit that point total yet. They just doesn't get enough time because they start blowing out the Bulls. His fantasy points is really a good one I'm looking at too. His assist is really getting to me. I'm loving Giannis's assist. When Middleton's not in the lineup, he absolutely turns into a fantastic facilitator. 9 assists, and 7 assists in the 3 games without Middleton. So though the assist line is really looking good for me, but I'm going to go with the rebounds over 13.5. For the simple reason, like I said last time, teams just struggle to shoot in Milwaukee. Last home game they had versus the Chicago Bulls, they had 18 boards. He had 17 in that last game as well, even though that one was in Chicago in Game 4. So today they'll be back in Milwaukee. Chicago's probably not going to get off to the greatest start. They don't have Zach LaVine, which means a player that's not supposed to be taking those many shots is going to be taking a lot of those shots, and that could be Patrick Williams. That could be Iota Sumo. There's just going to be a lot of bad shots taken without LaVine in that lineup. Also, DeMar DeRozan's going to have to take up a lot of tough shots if he wants to try to get into a rhythm, if he wants to try to backpack that Bulls team, which means there's going to be a lot of opportunities for rebounds. So I'm liking Giannis again tonight over 13.5 rebounds versus the Chicago Bulls. Lock it in. This one is an honorable mention line for me. I like Jrue Holiday either under 8.0 assists or over 4.5 rebounds. I'd probably lean more towards the assist line. He has hit this once in this series. I'm not quite sure why his assist is set so high. When the big three is out there, Jrue Holiday gets a lot of assists, but when it's just him as the primary ball handler and scorer behind Giannis, he really doesn't assist the ball that way. It turns into much more of a score. So he really hasn't even come close to this. I guess last game he had 7 assists, but he hasn't hit this assist line at all, as well as his rebounds. Instead at 4.5, he's hit this in every game but this last one in this series. He only had 2 rebounds in that last game, but he's hit the rebound line in every other game in this series. Jrue Holiday, actually, in game 1 and game 2, he had 15, 6, and 6, and 15, 6, and 6 on 6 of 16 shooting. In both game 1 and game 2, he put up exactly the same stat line. And then game 3, he had 16, 6, and 6. And I was like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. But I like those 2 lines for Holiday. It's kind of a little bit of an honorable mention line for me. All right, baby, you know what time that means. It's time for our perfect 3 slip. Give me our lock of the day. Steph Curry over 27.5 points today versus the Denver Nuggets. DeMar DeRozan over 29.5 points, or under 29.5 points, excuse me. And Giannis Antetokounmpo over 13.5 rebounds tonight versus the Chicago Bulls in the closeout game in Milwaukee. I'm loving this stat line. Also, just another, Giannis, obviously, you see what he did in the finals last year in his closeout game. But closeout games for Giannis are pretty big. He puts on pretty fantastic performances in closeout games. So I should expect Giannis to have another massive game tonight. That perimeter, or that wing defense for the Milwaukee Bucks has been fantastic on DeMar DeRozan in the last 2 games since that explosion game for him. Steph Curry back into the starting lineup tonight. That Denver defense does not have anybody to guard him, so I'm liking him over on his points tonight. All 3 solid picks tonight. Let's get it. All right, guys. With that being said, it's going to wrap up today's video. I know I've not had the greatest week, and I've had a horrible month of April, but thanks to the real ones that have been really sticking with me here, I've had a couple. My views have obviously kind of crashed a lot, and the channel hasn't been doing fantastic. But the guys that are the true fans and the guys that are sticking with me are the guys that are sticking with me. And I'm never really in it for the views or anything like that. Anyways, I'm trying to help you guys at the end of the day. When I fired this thing up, 2 or 3 months ago, I was not really anticipating it to be as big as it has turned into, but it has. And I really just came along here to help people, and I love sports betting, and I just put the 2 together, and it's been doing well for me. So, just not in the month of April. But with that being said, guys, hopefully we can cash on these 3 solid picks tonight. Got a couple of closeout games for the Warriors and the Bucks. With that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.